Hi everyone, I have a little bit of time to shoot a video. I just took reg on Tuesday and I am starting to study for audit, so I have a little bit of time to do a video, which I really wanted to do since I haven't in such a long time. And it's Sunday, so you get me in my comfy clothes. So I was hoping just to cover my experience in public accounting so far, and also my experience with the CPA exam. So I've been at RSM for a month and a half. It's still a steep learning curve. I've heard it's like that for like at least the first year, maybe 2 years. So it's been a challenge to say the least, but I've obviously been super grateful and excited every day to try to learn something new. I think I mentioned in my earlier videos that I did not have a tax internship, so I came into this not knowing how to use any of the software. I've done tax returns before, but never entered everything into software and had to make it match like that, I guess. So yeah, work has been interesting. I'll be excited when I know how to do my job properly. What else? So I've taken 2 CPA exams now. I took FAR in October, which I passed, which I was super happy about because I never want to touch FAR ever again in my life. And then I took Reg in December. I just took it last week. It feels like a long time ago because honestly I try to push those memories out of my mind. But yeah, so I took Reg and I will find out about that later this week. So challenges so far, besides just learning tax software and stuff like that, is just doing the job for 9 hours and then coming home and studying right after for 3 to 4 hours. It's very draining, and it's not fun, and you wish you could do other stuff and have a life, but I guess for me, I just know that it's not gonna last forever, so just try to keep that in mind. I also want to cover some tips that I thought of that helped me while I was studying. So I was going to use Becker and Wiley and kind of compare them, but I ended up just going with Becker just to make it a little bit simpler because it's kind of hard to switch between the two, and also for comparison's sake. So this is the Wiley book for frickin' FAR. This is gigantic. This scared me. I was like, what the heck? And then this is I got my notes in here. This is the Becker book for FAR. So which one looks more inviting to you, right? Okay, so anyways, but yeah, that brings me to my notes. I am the worst note taker ever because I hate taking notes because it just takes me way too long. I'm like a sloth or something, and I just think it's a waste of my time because I usually don't benefit from notes too much. I'll just jot stuff down super randomly, which that might drive some people crazy. But I was watching this YouTube video of someone else who was studying for the exam, and they had a whole spreadsheet and highlighters for different things and different tabs and everything. I don't know, that would drive me insane because I don't have that kind of time, and just having to organize everything like that, I don't know, I feel like I could have done 3 hours of studying if I didn't have to do that crap. So yeah, I don't know, maybe you like spreadsheets and stuff, but I feel like it's not that serious. But other things that have helped me. So I like to listen to the Becker lectures. I will go through while they're talking, and I'll underline and circle things that they talk about and that they have already done in their pre-annotated book or whatever. Just because since I don't take notes, that's a really good way for me to go back and see what's important when I'm doing review stuff. And then I don't have to take notes because they already took the notes in the book for me. So it just, for me, it's a time saver. So when I take notes in the book like that, I use a red pen, and at first I didn't use a red pen. I was using like a dark blue pen, which I didn't really think about it until I started using a red pen, and I was like, this stands out like way more, so definitely use a color that's going to stand out. So some of the challenges I faced when studying FAR, it's just a ton of information. I learned a lot of that stuff like in my intermediate series of accounting, but that was like over 2 years ago, and I also had like an entire school year to like learn all that stuff, and then you have like, I don't know, however long you want to study for, like a month, 2 months, whatever, to like learn all of that, plus governmental accounting, and I've never learned governmental accounting before, so that was fun. So I would listen to the lectures and take the notes that they were taking directly in the book. I did like some skills practices or whatever, but I did like all the multiple choice questions and would, obviously like read like why certain answers are right and why some of them are wrong. And that would help me decide like, do I need to go back and review something and help like solidify it more in my mind. But yeah, I would do the multiple choice questions, wasn't really into the skills practice. I did, for FAR, I did a lot of the simulations that for like each chapter, or what is it, modules? I don't know. And then for FAR and for Reg, I did all 3 of the simulated exams just to get exposure to more multiple choice questions and simulations and just like thinking about different ways they can ask questions. Another thing I like to use is this mark question box. I will use this if I get a question wrong or if it's really difficult and I would like to review it later. And it's really nice to use because like if you want to just go back when you're reviewing, you can do like marked questions only instead of like all questions. So if you have like 40 questions in like that session, like you could maybe only need to review like 15 of them, so it saves you a lot of time. I also forgot to mention, but I liked to use the Becker app, and I'm not sure if they're going to discontinue it or not, but I would use it in the morning to like listen to lectures while I got ready for work, and it just kind of would help to just hear that information again, and like I wouldn't have to sit down and do something, but it was an extra hour that I got of studying. And then studying for Reg, it was a little bit better. I felt like a little bit more motivated at the beginning. Reg is a lot of tax, so obviously I find that interesting since I like tax. But then there's also like 2 chapters of business law, which is interesting, but then I kind of ran out of time because it was at the end. I had taken like tax classes about like a year ago, so it's a little bit more fresh in my mind, and I find it a little bit more interesting than just financial accounting. And I also wanted to share that like I found out through some YouTube video, but you can request like a piece of scratch paper and pencil for the CPA exam instead of like, if you don't do that, then like you get some, I don't know, like laminated piece of paper with a whiteboard marker or something like that. So that would be kind of annoying. So if you send this email to, I guess, NASBA, I'll put the link up. So if you send in this request, then you can get a piece of paper and pencil instead of like some stupid laminated card, whatever. So I use that for both tests. So I don't know, I feel like why not just get paper and pencil? So yeah, I just wanted to share like a little bit about the beginning of working in public accounting and like my thoughts and stuff, and then just some insights about studying for the CPA exam and like what I experienced. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you found it helpful and useful, and I will see you here next time.